Hi, welcome back to my channel. My name's Katie and this is Catherine the 19th, the channel where we love to talk all things filmmaking and travel and organization. Today I want to show you my embarrassment of a bullet journal. I shouldn't be too hard on myself. This is my first ever attempt at bullet journaling. I got my Leuchtturm 1917 dot paper journal in May of 2017, and this guy has been all over the place, very beat up. I've taken him to California, to England, all over the place, and have written lots of stuff in here. This guy has made it through my first summer as a full-time freelancer, my last year at university, and then the last couple months since I got married as well. So there's a lot written in here, and I wanted to show you how I've used my bullet journal over the past year and a half. Welcome to my index. Clearly, I did not make very good use of this. This is my attempt at a future log. I tried to make it look kind of good. I think it looks kind of crappy, to be honest. Also, I almost never referred to this. I know that it can be useful to have like the dates, like what, December 8th is gonna be or whatever, to know that in certain circumstances, but I found myself almost always just looking at, Google Calendar on my phone. Welcome to my first monthly spread, which was May. I started my bullet journal in May of 2017. I sadly don't think I'll ever end up starting a bullet journal in January because this one has saw me through until, August of 2018, and I'm gonna be starting a new one for September. So what can you do? Here's May. I want to do like a colorful cover page. All of my bullet journaling pretty much is inspired by Amanda Rach Lee because she's like the queen of bullet journaling on YouTube, I feel. And she kind of does one color or one theme per month, and I was following that idea when I did May. So I made kind of a month at a glance planning thing, and as you can see, I used it quite seldomly, but Then I made a growth tracker and, eventually went back in and tried to tally how often I was eating out, clearly too often. Then these are just my weekly spreads. I started out doing a pretty basic, double page week-long spread. Okay, I did one, and then I decided to make a habit tracker, a mood tracker, and an eat out tally. And even in the very first month, I was bullet journaling. I did not, follow through with my mood or habit tracker. So that is kind of setting the tone for how this entire thing is going to go. I have no idea what kind of stuff I have written in here that you might be able to find, but shouldn't be anything too incriminating, I don't think. Now, I've kind of taken a break from the May thing, and I did a couple spreads on K19 Studio, like what I wanted to work on. Went back into some May weekly spreads, which you can tell even by now, I'm getting to the point where I'm really taking a utilitarian kind of approach and not really trying to make it pretty, but just trying to make it functional. So I've divided it into 7 blocks, 5 for the weekdays, and then 2 smaller ones for the weekends. Here we are into June, the first cover page that I'm somewhat happy with. I think by this point I'm trying to balance kind of adding some visual features, but also keeping it very practical. Then I went to the very, very utilitarian way of bullet journaling, which is literally just putting down the date and then making a list of everything that I was gonna do. Basically made a list, and then I would put down the day of the week so that I could kind of track that. Just a random video ideas box. I was just making very basic lists for what I was doing. This kind of was inspired by my friend Charlie's bullet journaling video, where she took a very practical, like no-nonsense approach to bullet journaling, basically like this, just making lists, which can certainly be effective. I think by the end of my bullet journal, as you'll see later, I kind of got to a point where it's like a mix of both. Then I just took a page out here to make a packing list for my trip to California. And then, this is pretty boring. I just sort of continue with the daily to-do list for a while, then just some legitimate like journaling. And then we get to August, where I decided to do another monthly spread. I kept up with the growth tracker because I find that interesting. I still do. And then the weekly overview. I think I kind of used this as a more like laid out plan thing when I was just doing these sort of lists, because the one benefit of doing the more traditional weekly spreads as seen back here, is that if you think of something you have to do on Friday, on Monday, you can just write it down there. But if you're literally just making to-do lists every day, where are you going to write that down? So then that's kind of what the purpose of a weekly overview is. Then I created just this end of summer bucket list, because I thought it would be a fun thing to do. As you can see, every once in a while we jump into a month where it's like, oh, she's doing this again. Oh, we're gonna like try the whole bullet journaling thing. So I did make a monthly cover page for September, and then this. And then basically I had like one page of regular bullet journaling when I decided that I was gonna do something totally different for my school journal. Having a planner during my time in university was very important in organizing myself, and my biggest issue with the traditional bullet journal setup is that you don't have the ability to flip forward a bunch of pages and write something down that's due in 3 weeks. You only are making one weekly spread at a time. So I decided to change that up for fall term. So here is kind of the first like cute page that I'm actually like happy with how it turned out. I decided to make a list of healthy snack ideas and lunch ideas so that when I was busy during school, I could kind of look at this and then, try to make good, healthy food decisions. And then instead of doing month by month, I decided to do an entire section for fall term. So this is September through December of 2017. And I just decorated with like a few kind of school related things. Then this is almost kind of like a mini bullet journal in itself, but for only 4 months. And that's what I found most useful while I was in school. So I created a whole term overview, each with the month, and then a space to put my assignments for that month. Then I started with my weekly spreads, and kind of what I decided to do is, as you can see here with week 1, I labeled each of the weeks by the number it was in the term, and at the beginning of the term, I went through and I drew out weekly spreads for all like 13 or 14 weeks or whatever it is. Because then, at the very beginning of the term, when I knew I'm going to have to read, this Mills and Barlow chapter for the 13th of October, I can write that in the very beginning of the term, and I know I'm going to remember it. And then I can kind of put my syllabus away and not have to look at that because I have it all here color-coded. That's kind of been my strategy, and I think it can be really useful for other students who are not sure how to use the bullet journal technique. Then we move on to winter term. I think you're seeing a trend. I take out a chunk of my bullet journal, I plan it out months in advance, and then I use the back for just random notes. Then I created my spread for winter term, which is January to April of 2018. I did the same system with, my monthly overview. I didn't actually write my assignments in here, but I did write them in, in my weekly section. And here again, we're back to just the weekly overview, the same exact setup I did for all of fall term, because I found it very effective for remembering all of my due dates, all of that kind of thing. Another end of term to-do list. I promised I actually did finish those things. It's just that this was literally my last exam of university ever, so I never opened to this page again until now. Then I made kind of similar to December. April is sort of outside of the bounds of regular term life because classes end the very beginning of April. So I just created these grids for those few weeks that were on the end of term and put my events and tasks in there. Here's a wedding to-do list, and here's my 2017 year in review video that I made notes on what I was going to say in it. I jumped back into bullet journaling in May, and I decided to go with a succulent theme because that's like one of the few things I know how to doodle. Again, from watching Amanda Rach Lee's videos, is the only reason I can do that. So yeah, let's look at this. Again, I created this kind of overview thing. Didn't use it. Resolutions, notes, goals, wow. So empty, it's sad. And I did a monthly overview like this as well, and only put in my Puerto Rico trip. May was a busy time for me, I must tell you, so I think that's also one of my excuses, but yeah. I decided to do weekly spreads similar to how I did in school because I had found that effective and really barely used them at all, as you can see. But I was kind of in this like wild time between ending school and getting married, so that's kind of my excuse for not using these pages as much, which is unfortunate. Then I did a spread for June 2018 with a lavender theme. I did a monthly overview like this time, which I actually think is like the better way to do it because I like looking at a calendar like this. I did a mood tracker with little like lavender sprigs, and Only filled it out to the 6th, really. And a video ideas page left blank. That's a sad thing about this bullet journal is it's full now, mostly of pages like this. Then, this is the one thing that I did that I think was really cool. I made a double page spread for my week, and I tried the Dutch door technique, which again I learned from Amanda Rachel. Then I decided to do a different weekly spread kind of layout. Didn't write anything down this week. That is kind of the end of my traditional bullet journal kind of stuff, I would say. Then I wrote down this goal tracker overall because I wanted to keep track of my growth on YouTube, Instagram, etc. Because I had kind of had that haphazardly throughout the previous pages. So I kind of wanted to have it all in one place. I will probably transfer this over to my new bullet journal. This is where I started getting back into bullet journaling again, in kind of a way that was actually useful to me. I created a structure for my tasks, which I think has helped me focus a lot more. And basically what it is I have these 4 main goals that I want to accomplish every week. And I fit those in to just 3 tasks a day. Because what I find is, as you could see in previous spreads, I would make these stupid long to-do lists that it's like, how did I ever get that done in a day? Like, that's literally editing 4 videos right there. Like, what the heck? So now I just give myself 3 main tasks a day, and if I get those done, I consider that day successful. So those 3 tasks are then drawn from these 4 main goals that happen on a weekly basis, which are work on 1 travel and 1 videography themed video each week, email 2 potential clients, to try to get some work, 3 complete ongoing freelance tasks, 4 publish 1 YouTube video, and then the 5th one is a daily thing, which is just post Instagram every day. And then I really kind of focused in on how I want my spreads to look with this week, where I put a weekly goals box at the top, as you can see here, and I have icons that represent the things that I'm trying to do. So the YouTube icon is the 2 videos that I'm going to work on that week, 1 videography and 1 travel related. Then I have 2 little email icons, and then I write down the client that I want to email for a potential project. And then this money symbol just indicates ongoing freelance tasks. So if I have, a contract that I have to write or a video I have to edit, I'll write those in there, and then I can draw from these 6 kind of bigger goals and write down my daily goals in here. So I won't just write down like, make this YouTube video. I'll write like, script this YouTube video, and then the next day film it. And I found that's really helped me organize what I'm trying to do with my day. And then also on these divider lines, I draw a little Instagram icon and a little YouTube icon on the days that I want to post to those platforms. And then I cross them off once I've done it to remind myself to post when I want to post. I think moving forward, what I want to do is leave maybe like a double page spread at the end of each monthly spread for notes, and then try to remind myself to go there to write my notes down so that I don't end up with this huge like no man's land of notes at the end of my bullet journal. Thanks so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed this walk down memory lane through my bullet journal. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. I really appreciate it. Let me know in the comments below if you've ever used a bullet journal before and what your experience with it has been. And if you have other bullet journal YouTubers you watch, let me know, because I'm always looking for more inspo. And of course, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already so that you don't miss any of my future videos. Like I said, I love to talk about travel and videography and creativity and organization. As always, I love you all. I hope you're following your dreams, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.